Nobody came from nowhere. We all have our story to tell. The glory is here, and many more we will surely share. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's meet your artist, Art, the celebrity Connor. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Nedu-Ville Studio. Yeah. You already know that this is the celebrity Connor, and we want to say a very big thank you to our boss up there, the Prophetic Encounter Radio boss, all the way in New York City. Thank you, Pastor Gil Bogus, for all that you do for the kingdom, especially right here in Nigeria with our Nigerian music and content. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Celebrity Corner, we're live here and I'm super excited. Every time it is very, very, very interesting to be here. And I'm here one more time with a very, very eminent, prominent, and all the names you can think of, a man of timber and caliber, sawdust and plywood, a man I have known for a very long time, that I very much respect, a father of music in the industry, and as far as Delta State in Nigeria is concerned, a one who is an African praise giant. An African praise giant. You want to meet with, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only impeccable Reverend Gweke Ikoge. Yes, Reverend. Reverend, it was not easy to get you here. I hope you know that. And we are trusting God that very soon, by the grace of God, when we grow up, we will be like you too, Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Gweke. Reverend, how do you feel today?
I feel good. I'm excited. I count this a privilege to be part of this celebrity corner, to share and then also to encourage upcoming artists or those who have gone ahead in music, so that those who think that it's over will have an assurance that they have just begun and that there is a future in what they do. So,
Reverend, there are a lot of artists that are trying to get to a brand per se in terms of their name. You could come up with a different name other than the name that their father and mother gave to them. Just to create a brand and stuff. You have chosen Gweke Ikoge, which is your name. You're cool with that, I know, definitely, but was there any time you thought about having a twist? Maybe this was an issue, like, do I use my original name or should I stay with my to get another name, a brand name? Was that a struggle for you? And how come about you settling with the name, your original name? Yes.
It's always been me to be addressed by my name. The only struggle I had while trying to brand was to cut it short.
Okay.
My full name is Gweke.
Okay.
So to make it short, we just have to make it Gweke. There was never a time where I thought like having a brand name different from my own name, because I felt that having my name on my brand is the best that can happen to me. There are several Gweke out there, but I wanted to be different from those that have gone ahead of me, or those that will come after me, or those that bears the same name with me. And so over time, Gweke Ikoge became a household name. Gweke Ikoge, because of what I do and how I do what I do. That makes it unique.
Of course.
It's simple but different, simple but not normal, simple but not usual. So that's how I've been operating, and the name Gweke Ikoge, became
a brand, a household name.
It is
Yes.
today. And to take it further, you just have Gweke's music.
Yes.
That's how it went.
Of course. Now, Reverend, I want to ask you a quick one. Still on this, your name now.
Yeah.
You know, the name is Gweke. Yes.
Gweke.
Okay.
God is my judge.
Yes. Now, that because mine is Chinedu, and of course, I now got Nedu from Chinedu. And, you know,
Wow.
sometimes I'm disturbed, like, why did you remove the chi from the, the chi is God. Now, I've seen someone, I think I'm consoled a bit. I've seen a partner. So I want to ask you, were you disturbed any time that the Ogene is God? So why did you remove the God? Did you have any friction at any time about that, sir?
Not really, because the intention was pure. My intention to have Gweke was pure. It has never crossed my mind that I took God away from my name, because the name actually means God is my judge.
Oh, yes.
And God is my judge, or God is the one I talk to, meaning that He has the final say, He owns everything, and He's the A and the Z. So each time I remember that name, Gweke, the big picture is God is my judge, the one behind the name, and the one whose I represent. That's exactly it. It's never disturbed. Maybe because of my style or what I do and how I do what I do. That's exactly why I just enjoy it. I love the name.
Yes.
I love the name.
Reverend, I must tell you that I am, in fact, I am encouraged, and I from here on, I won't be perturbed, because of course, yes. I like that part you said. That God is definitely the big picture.
Yeah.
It didn't cut across your mind like, okay, you took God away. No, it's not like God is away from the picture. God is everything.
We did an abbreviation to communicate what we represent.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Gweke is still very much with us. Reverend, you are one who has performed on the biggest stages, around here, with renowned names of the gospel music, the likes of Ty Tribet, the likes of Don Moyne, Avin Slaughter, name them, Ron Kennelly. You've shared the same platform with them on stage, and we truly celebrate the grace of God upon your lives. Definitely, we know that you've come a long way. We'd like to hear your story. How's it been? How's the music ministry been for you? I know that you have done nothing less than at least going to 4 decades now doing this music ministry. What has kept you consistent, and what has kept you going, and even in the gospel as well?
Basically, to begin, my passion has been the brain behind my acceleration, and I try as much as I can to avoid distraction. It's been a tough journey. It's been a long journey, and it's also been a challenging journey. The truth remains. Let me just give a background. I grew up in church, from what we call the junior choir or the children choir, and then you get promoted to the intermediate choir, and then you'll be there for some time. And all of this rise or promotion, has to be based on performance. You cannot climb from one cadet to another except by serious performance. So I moved from the children choir to the intermediate choir, and then to what we call in our church or denomination then the sanctuary choir or the senior choir. And all of that, by the grace of God, gave me an opportunity to showcase the stuff I'm made of. But all along, it's been choir. At the time, I had to, back then in the city of Sapele, I had to coordinate the largest mass choir in town. We were over 150, going to 200 and above. Just my passion was to gather young people. We sing, and then we go about town within Sapele and its environment. We're storming churches, being a blessing, just my passion. And then there were a series of songs that were written, some are already coming, as reality songs online. Those were songs written way back. So for me, it's been my passion that have kept me. And I have seen situations where it looks like at a time, let me make this one very, very quick. At a time, I was seeking for recognition. In a situation where you have to liaise or go ask certain pastors or ministries to feature you in their programs that we see as big then. Those programs that so I was wondering, when will I have my face on billboard? When will I have my face on TV? When will I have my face on radio, adverts on several billboards? I wanted to, beat the gun. I wanted it overnight. Just want things to happen. But when that was not forthcoming, I had to now remain, focused, steadfast, and then committed to what I was doing in church. I was focused, I was steadfast, I was committed to what I was doing in church, and I was doing it with all my life until, fast forward, ministry opportunities starts surfacing. And I must thank at this junction Reverend Ikoge, Gweke, and the Glorious Fountain Ministry for giving me access and for giving me the opportunity, to feature with all of these great ministers, both in Nigeria and beyond. So for me, it's basically my passion. I was doing it not because I wanted recognition. I was doing it because I wanted to be a blessing. It was while Reverend Ikoge gave me the opportunity to start featuring in the Glorious Fountain Ministries programs that the Africanness, of my administration started surfacing. There's a part of me that is still silent, but gradually is coming out. That's the choir parts. But when I met Reverend Ikoge, that's African, representing the Africa in praise. That part of me was bettered, and I must celebrate God for that. And that has been the most massive, part where exploits have been done, where doors have opened, and then several and series of opportunities keep coming, because of how we do what we do, and how God has helped us to do what we do.
Yes. Reverend Gweke, in case you've never met Reverend Gweke on stage, man, you need to see energy. Reverend, you have so much energy on stage. I mean, you can dance from morning till the next morning. What's your, how do you do it? How do you do this thing that you can dance energetically like that for a long time? How do you do that?
Now, the truth is, as we're growing, I belong to a group called the Lord's Anointed Voice. We call them TLA. Then we actually bear the name called the Young Shall Grow. Just a group of 4 or 5 where we, what it is. You have one where you're growing to. And then in the process, we had to also delve into live performance. And when I mean live performance, accepting invitations,
shows like
burial ceremonies,
wedding reception,
housewarming, and all of that. And for the burials we have back then, you have to perform all day.
Yes.
You arrive on or before 7 p.m. You start your performance till about 12 midnight. You do some little refresh and recess, and then you come back till morning. And so over time, it became an inbuilt thing. We go from all night to wedding ceremonies, the reception, and when we are done with the reception, sometimes on a Sunday, there is a housewarming, there is a birthday, a 70th birthday, 80th birthday to perform. So from Friday through Sunday or Monday, from one performance to another. So over time, it became inbuilt that if there are no events, to exact the energy, it looks very frustrating because there's nothing else to do. So it became an inbuilt thing in line with my passion and love for God. And so ministering for hours is norm for me. It's a normal thing for me. 1 hour is like a child's play. 2 hours, okay, we can say we have started, and then we can go on and on.
Reverend, you said something that struck me. Okay, let me just take us just one step back a bit, from the other answers you gave. Okay. When you said I mean, talking about your story,
Yeah.
how it started for you. You were trying to get popular. You were worried
Sure.
about being on the big stages and billboards.
Wanted to be known.
Yes. Now, Marev, you agree with me that we have this same challenge with some persons, some artists, some musicians today. That's the truth. So I'd like you to share something. What can you say? Because, I've been in some situations where you're looking for something and the more you're looking for it, the more you're not finding it.
Exactly.
And then when you're relaxed, it just comes to you. I don't know the mystery behind that though, but from your story, you were looking for it and you didn't find it. But when you stayed glued to the assignment, to the work, being committed. I think there's a message there. Being committed to, now you are not doing it I think it's motive.
Known.
Yes.
My intention changed, my motive changed. I was getting it all wrong because I wanted to be famous. I wanted to have fame. I wanted to be known. I was doing very well.
Yes, but with the wrong motive.
Yes, I was doing very well, but I just wanted to be known. But why that was not forthcoming, I had to now stay focused. My passion became focused on being a blessing to the body of Christ, not about being known. Just want to be, and that is actually affecting the way I accept invitations and my yes to invitations. And then sometimes I go all out to be as simple as I can, just to be a blessing. Because I know that for sure that there was a time I wanted to be popular, but right now, even when there are programs you don't want to attend, sometimes they want to appeal that will have your face on the program, but that has reduced a lot now. Some people want to have your face, knowing fully well that you're not going to come.
That's deception.
Yes, and then today, both on the radio, on the television, on the internet, everywhere, the publicity, and so I get tired, of publicity.
Of what you were looking for before. It's now looking for you. So
right, left, and center. So for me, I like to encourage our gospel music ministers who I will know for sure that the system or the kingdom that we are in, if you are not patient, you will be frustrated. If you are not patient, you will give up. If you are not patient, you will branch out. That's the truth. So the others who are still up and doing today, who are hitting the platforms back to back, are people who waited, who were patient, who were passionate until favor showed up, and then grace began to sponsor, the rest of their efforts. So I encourage you out there to please be patient. Be patient. We know the challenges. The road may be rough and tough. We have all gone through that pathway before. So be patient, be encouraged, and then be useful. Be in church, stay in church. Be in church, stay in church. Be useful in church. Be productive. Continue to be impactful until your day comes. No matter what, we have received insult. At the time I was growing up, some elders thought that it's because I didn't want to go to the university. So I wanted to waste my life on. That's why we're busy singing about, jumping about, and doing kingdom things. But today, the same people are claiming ownership of our son. He's doing well. We know that you will one day become. We know that you will impact our generation. So not just me, but for the others, my immediate elder brother and several others who were in the same team with me, were growing up. Everybody is massively impacting their world and the kingdom.
Marev, you said something earlier about your what influences your saying yes to invitations and your simplicity. Yes, truly, you're simple, and I think it's one attribute that personally I really love. With wisdom, with maturity. You are one who has a lot of experience, when it comes to the music, but yet you're a big face, you're a big name, but yet very simple, like the way Jesus would do it. I would say that personally, I do not take that for granted at all. I want to say this, how do you manage, because this is a reality show now, so the truth is that many people watching us and listening to us right now. So You see, especially, I'm a church boy, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not, but we
Sure.
just see some things that are true,
Yeah.
that we bring out, and then we find a way to. We hope that these things are corrected,
Yeah.
so that the environment in the church can be a place
A
where
place
people
where people
come and
nurture,
grow. Yeah,
grow,
you understand?
encourage, and
Yes.
giving
Yes.
opportunities to
Yes.
rise.
What would you say, sir? Because I know that a lot of simple people like you sometimes are abused. Not necessarily just from the church. Now, some individuals who probably want to have a program or something, they just think that, Reverend Gweke, you seem just call him, they're simple, and, how do you manage that, in your simplicity? How do you manage that?
If you must know the truth, the abuse is high. The abuse of that simplicity has been on the high side. But sometimes, for the sake of being a blessing, for the sake of impacting, because for me, there's a part of me that I don't really show. I want to reproduce my kind over time, so that in the near future, generations to come, if Jesus tarries, there will be people, they may not be able to do exactly what we do, and do it how we do it, but there would have been a drop, a measure of what we do in their spirit man, so that generations to come will not lack such kind of atmosphere when it comes to African praise, African worship, and then just doing music, and creating atmosphere for people to be blessed. I have been abused times with that number, but in recent times I have done the best I could to now give I will put a boundary, the limits to which I can take some of these excesses. But on the other hand, the church is not really doing so well. Not all churches, most ministries really take for granted the simplicity of several gospel music ministers. And that is exactly why some are getting frustrated, and many others are, in quotes, are backing out or buying out, of focus, because they are not well treated. And so what I do now, when you give me a call for an invitation, I take you through the process, not really giving you a cost. And there are no cost implications for my administrations, but you have to observe certain process to be able to get the invitations go through. And then depending on what you want, my ministry to represent in your program will now determine how far you can go to get the weight thrown for your program. But the truth remains that the abuse of simplicity is very, very much on the high side, but I am cutting it down gradually by the grace of God.
Marev, you talked about process.
Yeah.
In your own view, do you think that, like right here in Warri, if you tell a host or someone who's inviting you that come talk with my manager first, and it seemed like you're proud. It seemed like, what's that? In this our Warri, that kind of a thing. But in other parts of the country, these things also happen.
It's known.
Do you think it's out of place to have a manager, someone who manages you, as an artist? What do you say about that?
I'm very. My challenge there is misconception. Having someone that manages you is like engaging somebody to help you look at your itinerary. To always call you to remembrance of your schedules, help you align your schedule, because to a large extent, sometimes it's very, very confusing. If you are not able to have someone who will help manage your itinerary, it will be very, very challenging. I may not be mentioning names here, but I have had several calls, both from Europe and all over, of certain persons wanting to invite some of our Nigerian gospel music ministers, even if to some extent I have direct contact to these persons, I do not disclose such private opportunities. Instead, I ask them to go through their PA, personal assistant, or a manager, depending on the name you you execute. I received a call from Europe inviting a Nigerian gospel artist. As I speak to you now, even some in Nigeria who also went through me, they have sent mails, they have gone through the process, they are waiting for response. Because the set person is busy. Not just busy playing, but busy doing ministry. Traveling around the globe, doing ministry. So he will not have the time to, to receive your calls and be booking everybody. What time will he have to pray? What time will he have to meditate? And there are other ministry opportunities there. So for me, having a manager or a personal assistant is a normal thing. It's just like owning a company and then putting a manager. Nobody accuse you for having a manager in your company. And so what's wrong with a gospel music minister having someone he puts in charge to manage his itinerary and the ministry activities as far as his ministration is concerned?
Now, Marie, as you're talking now, the truth is some persons will understand if this big name is very busy, so he can have a manager. So but now for an upcoming, for someone who is still trying to get there, whom people may see that, oh, you're not really busy. Like I don't mention names now, but like some of our big brothers up there, So sometimes they may see like, oh no, you have a manager for what? Like manager, as though you're not. I don't know if you can strike a balance there for
me.
us.
Management is all about behavior, because there are certain persons who don't have regard, respect, and honor for the ministry of certain gospel music ministers, and so sometimes the management team or the admin of that music minister helps to regulate those excesses. For example, there are ministries that want to invite a minister, even if it's a preacher of the word, you should, and it's coming from another state. The first thing that should come to your mind is mobility. Will it track down?
No,
it's mobility. So you decide if you will be able to show that it's coming by flight, if it's convenient, or coming by road, if he decides, if he obliges you that opportunity or privilege. And then two, when he comes from another state or another country, where will he lodge? If you want to lodge him in the church guest house or in your own house, you should communicate beforehand that this is what we can do, this is how far we can go. We appeal to you to come, please be a blessing. That's if the schedule of the said minister permits. Because one thing is to give an invitation, another thing is for him or her to give a yes to the invitation. When he or she has given a yes to the invitation, it could mean that you have met the criteria. You have gone through the process. You have done the needful. But sometimes, some ministers do not open up. You engage a minister, you do all the other what have you, and then you forget the place of mobility, you forget the place of accommodation and feeding. I have had testimonies from renowned gospel music ministers in this country who were just trying to subpedal on mentioning names, who were invited from this country to another country and became stranded.
Yes.
Why? Because the host, did not do any good work,
proper arrangement.
And it's happening to us. Even within these local states, worry, we have issues of pastors or ministries inviting gospel music ministers without any preparation. If I may shock you, there are honorariums, so to speak, that I can backdate to 6 months, 1 year. I'm still expecting them to come. Some are within the town, some are not. That's why I say, because of the passion, the abuse is high. So for me, invitations come from that same place. It can't be easy as he first got it.
True.
Because the first access was abused. True. And so I want to encourage ministers out there, preachers of the gospel, even fellow music ministers. If you are to engage the ministry of a music minister, prepare. Let me just shock you. There's the recent one that went through where the picture that was painted was that, sir, will your father come and be a blessing? Not knowing that that same person had collected some stuff. He was given a certain amount to appreciate the guest, because by way of influence, as a lawyer's son, I had to attend the church program, but he was giving certain amount, to appreciate, because there was no cost implication attached to my administration. There were other artists who actually were blunt. This is how much it is. And they were attended to. This young man slashed what he was asked to give to me, and then kept some for himself. Only for the organizers to call me and say, "Sir, please don't be offended. We would like to know if what we sent across got to you." I said, "Yes, fine. Everything went well. Thank you. I appreciate." He said, "Sir, we also want to know the amount." Then I knew. That something had gone wrong. And so when I told him the amount, he screamed to the extent that he promised I was going to arrest that young music minister. So you could see
that was another young music minister. I've seen
another young music minister. So I'm trusting God. We'll be having a conference hopefully soon, so that we will gather. We need to talk to the upcoming. Some of them are just zealous without knowledge. They're just excited. They're not doing ministry. They're just going about entertaining. They need to know exactly what they're doing and then know who they represent, why they do what they do, and how they do what they do. So it's all about the kingdom. So we've seen a lot. We can have the whole day. If I tell you some stuff, you will marvel. But it's all good. We thank God for the privilege to be a blessing.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, why they do what they do and how they do what they do is a major factor here, as you have heard from Reverend Gweke, Ikoge. So at the end of the day, motive is very important. See that testimony now about, should I call it testimony? Because anytime we hear the word testimony, it sounds like good news. But look at that story of a music minister cutting somebody you claim to be your father.
And that's not the first time. Several others would have done theirs and gone away with it.
Yes.
So this was not an eye-opener that is happening.
Wow.
And there are pastors that does that. And there are other church. I was also at a church where members of council slashed what was agreed to be given.
That is a group. That's a group counseling.
It was later the music minister of that church called to find out if he was appreciating me for coming and for being very sacrificial, and wanted to know if that package that he appealed for, was given. So I told him it was slashed, and then he almost fainted. And that they were going to walk around the clock to send it. That one is still there. So there are many leftover honorariums or appreciation package that are still backlog. We can count years back or months back. But all the same, I think it's a lesson for upcoming.
Yes.
And it's not good if you're a pastor, if you're a minister of the gospel, whether a preacher, a teacher of the word, if you're engaging, whether it's a preacher or a teacher, please prepare. Don't do billboards without preparing for your guests. What's the essence of radio advert, television advert, all of the publicity, and then you have no preparation for the guest. You are bringing a guest preacher, no preparation. His face is all over everywhere. And there are people who think that they conclude that the massive publicity, determines what you enjoy in the program. But there are many gospel music ministers that have suffered here at the expense of all these flamboyant and massive publicity we get sometimes on radio, on TV, but the outcome after the administration is so bad and very, very discouraging.
Wow.
Some, not for me personally, but I've had courses where several gospel ministers, they even call, from outside the states, say, I went for that program, you are a popular person, please help me talk to them. I don't like the way I've been treated. But before you were invited, you didn't tell me. Why you said yes, you didn't tell me. There's a problem. That's what I get most times. I get complaints here and there within Warri and beyond of how several gospel ministers have been treated. And that's why nobody should complain about any gospel ministers that gives you a channel to their manager to know the do's and don'ts before they arrive at your program. If you can afford it, fine. If you cannot afford it, you wait until when God will grant you grace to be able to move that guest artist or preacher to your location. But don't be in a hurry. Be patient and then treat your guest well.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard a lot from Reverend Gweke, Ikoge. It's been educative. It's been entertaining, I tell you. And I hope that we are all learning, because I'm learning seriously too. My Rev, you are one who is enjoying fame right now. You're you're everywhere, and of course, and then enjoying so much honor and respect as far as gospel music is concerned. I'll ask you two questions in one.
Okay.
You know, first and foremost, how are you enjoying what you planned to enjoy many years ago, and how is it now for you now? That's one. And number two, you see, I started asking this question. You know, I think it came first in my spirit, and I said, I'm going to put up a program for that. You know, and we will talk about this. You see, a lot of people want to blow. That's the word they call it. People want to blow. So I'm beginning to ask questions. Why do you want to blow? Now, after you have blown, what next? So what is the importance? Because we've had the likes of, you know, let me not mention names, all right? But we have a lot of big names, I mean, who has done so well, and they are everywhere around the world, yet they are still singing. You know, we also have some situations where some artists will come out, one song just hits everywhere, and then you don't see them again. You know, now what I want to, I think it's the motive at the end of the day. But why do we want to blow? Now you've blown, Arabia, enjoy your fame. So we want to share your experiences now that you are everywhere, and then what would now be your advice to the young ones who wants to blow? You know,
that word blow, and maybe we may use who wants to be famous, but there is the beyond being famous. Ministry is the focus and the drive. For me, I said everyone has a passion, but I know for me, I've always I made a prayer some years back, and I told the Lord that the higher I go, he should teach me to remain humble. So as the fame is increasing, he should keep hitting me with humility. It's helping me. It's not been easy, but I'm trying. And I'm trying. It's sometimes I don't see it as anything. It does not get to my head. Everything about being famous, being known, you know. Once I am out of the stage, it's so for me. Everything about that platform goes. It doesn't stay. As much as I celebrate the privilege, the impact, and then the opportunity to be in such platform or to be a blessing, but once I am out of that stage, you know, everything about, you know, what just transpired, you know, goes with that event. I don't keep it at my head. That's why I try as much as possible to be myself, for myself, you know, with myself, so I can stay strong, stay healthy, and then face the future. Then on the other part, blow has to being famous and then having so much money. For me, I think for the upcoming gospel music ministers, what they are after is making so much money, making so much money on time. We just want to be known, and then no gospel music artists you hear their names today, you know, came out from the blues. No one. There's no one that just came out from the blues. Every single one of them has a story, has a struggle, has a series of challenges that they went through. Some even suffered so many humiliation, much more than some of us are doing or complaining or experiencing now. But what kept them is passion. Passion. They just wanted to be a blessing. The kingdom. Because one day you will give account of what you did with your giftings, how much souls were impacted, how much people were saved, and how much lives were turned around by your ministration. So for me, I encourage upcoming already made music ministers to be patient. Just be yourself. And as you grow, keep growing and keep doing kingdom or do ministry. As you make money, as things resources start coming into your hand, do ministry like with the impact that Nebasi is making and Victoria Rinze and many. They are doing ministry. You see them, they are doing ministry, investing in kingdom, giving back to the kingdom, giving back to your ministry.
Is doing something.
But yes,
the foundation like that.
Yeah, so they are all doing. They are doing stuff. Not all are online or publicized. Majority of these gospel stars, you hear their names. They are doing serious things and blessing lives year and year with the resources that God has helped them with. So, be famous is good. Have money is good. But when you come to that level, know that you are giving those powers, finance and fame for ministry. So enlarge the kingdom as much as you can, not just for personal enjoyment and satisfaction. It's for kingdom expansion.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Gweke, Ikoge, Reverend, thank you so much for that beautiful time. Reverend, I want to ask you some freestyle questions right now.
All right.
Reverend, what's your favorite food? Let your people know how you do this, so that when you're invited the next time, we will know how to pamper you and tutori you somewhere. So
Rice.
rice.
I eat rice.
There are shades of rice, my Rev.
Provided it's rice.
Ah!
Whether it is fried rice, whether it's oil rice.
It's okay.
Whatever rice, anything rice is okay.
Yes.
Anything rice is okay.
Some people think that men is majorly about, but my Rev, there's something that you like, that I know that you like so much.
Okay.
It's not food, but it's edible. I know you know what I'm thinking now. So
Can't really tell.
no, there's something you like that you don't play with at all. It's not snack. It is not food, but it is something you don't do with that. And I wonder how you manage that with your voice. Anyway, you are a principal in the music world, so I don't know how you manage that, but there's something you like. Think about it.
Soft drinks?
No, it's not even drinks.
Okay, I eat granuts a lot.
You eat granite, my Rev. I have a surprise for you.
All right.
You eat granite,
I
and
eat
so
granuts a lot.
my Rev, in the celebrity corner, we bring to you granite. I know that you don't joke with granite, my Rev. So, Rev, you are going to take this from us on behalf of Nedu-Ville Studio and the Prophetic Encounter Radio New York. Thank you for coming.
So much.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Gweke Ikoge, there's so much questions I like to still ask, but we can't say, like he said earlier on, if we keep talking, we can talk all night, And I promise by the grace of God, Reverend is coming back and to share some more stories with us, because the people would like to see you and hear more from you. We've been educated. I've heard a whole lot, and I believe that the young people who are coming up after us, we have to do this so that some things can be corrected.
Exactly.
We have generations who are looking up to the likes of you, sir, and so they want to. I think this is a forum for them to begin to know you more, and then know how to do what they do and how they do what they do.
You must know what you do, how you do it, and why you do it.
Yes, very important. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Pastor Gil Bogus, all the way in New York City. Thank you so much for having us at this platform. We're coming back to back with more celebrities on the Celebrity Corner. I remain Gabriel, you already know, live here in Nedu-Ville Studio. Till I see you again. Peace out. Yes. Thank you. I'm telling you. You see. So now you celebrate all those.
Don't cut your audio.
Thank you for listening to the Celebrity Con, brought to you by Nedu-Ville Studio, Warri, Nigeria, and the Prophetic Encounter Radio, New York City. For inquiries or more information, please contact us on Facebook at Nedu-Ville Studio or the Prophetic Encounter Radio, on Instagram at Nedu-Sings or the Prophetic Encounter Radio.